Hello, welcome to Measure of Success Outdoors, Deer Season 2018, Episode 3. This week, we're going to show you some footage from our recent hunts. We'll finish up the conversation about the split G2 buck and walk step by step through that hunt. And then, we'll show you some footage from my backyard of a buck that actually showed up last week, and then showed up again last night with another deer that would look really good on my wall. And we'll show you that footage in Episode 4. So you'll want to stay tuned for that. But let's jump right into the hunts. This youngin came in down our entry trail. He knew we were there and he hung around until he found us. He had already broken one side off, and when we came in that morning there was two small bucks sparring in the road ditch. So with this cold front they were getting started. That afternoon we finally had the wind we needed to hunt the north end. This little button buck surprised us by sneaking into 15 yards before we saw him. This footage is taken after we had spooked him once. Then we had two does come in and feed on acorns until shortly before dark. As you can see, this cold front had the deer on the move. We saw several deer that morning that we hunted before we even got in the stand. Like I said, they were fighting in the yard as we pulled in, and then the does, literally there was a bunch of does standing where we park. So the cold front had them turned on. We didn't see the buck we were after, but we know several people did, judging by the pictures on Instagram. So it's been a pretty good October for as far as deer hunting goes. Now we'll switch gears and finish talking about the split G2 buck. This was actually the first picture of the split G2 buck we got. It was taken on the food plot on the south end, and as you can see, we were impressed. This picture is one of several we got on the north end of the property. With these pictures, we felt like we had a pretty good understanding of what he was doing. At this point, I still didn't have permission to hunt on the south end, so we were focused on the north end of the property. But I spoke with the landowner in early September and they gave me permission to hunt on the south end. So we decided to move in quickly and hang the stand.
All right, good morning. It is early in the morning. It is about 7:45. We're going to sneak in here and hang some stands. We did finally get permission to hunt that farm that we've been wanting to hunt for a long time. We know that's where the deer are bedding and spending a lot of their time. These are city deer. This is about a 14-acre block of timber where they're spending quite a bit of time. And wanted to get in here early, hopefully before the deer get here. But just in case that they are here, we will be driving up to where we have the camera up closer to the bedding area. And that way, if we bump them out, it's while we're in the truck and driving in and out of here. One thing these city deer do tolerate is vehicles pretty well. And then we'll come back down and hang the set after we drive up there and pull the card on the camera. And if there are any deer in here, hopefully bump them far enough away that they don't hear us or see us putting up the stand. So stay tuned.
The stand location is noted with the red dot. The stand was up and now the debate was over when to hunt it. The general consensus was to wait until the rut, but with an east-southeast wind forecasted for opening day and the pictures we had, we decided to give it a try. That wind was important. It was just east enough to blow our scent into the very back corner of the subdivision, but south enough the deer would still feel like it was an advantage for them. That's really something I've learned over the last couple years from several podcasts. So we moved in just as we suspected. He came right down the funnel.
So there you have it. On opening day, the split G2 buck came right down the funnel, and we had him at 20 yards until a smaller buck figured out that something was up. He actually tested our patience and went back out to 33 yards and offered me a nice quartering away shot that I was able to take and slide it in right about the last rib, and it went up and centered in the offside shoulder. In the process, it took out the liver, one lung, and the heart. So, as we were tracking him, we were actually concerned because he was headed towards the owner of the property's yard, but he expired before he made it there. He actually ran about 80 yards and we found him in the bottom of the ditch. What a great hunt. We were so excited to be able to target that buck, and as we talked about earlier in the episode, we were originally going to wait until the rut to hunt that stand, but everything just kind of lined up and we really felt like we needed to be in there, particularly with the most recent information that we had. So now we're going to transition over and show you a deer that actually showed up in my backyard earlier this week. And we'll close out the episode with that footage. Now, this is a great deer that I would have loved to have harvested prior to shooting the split G2 buck, but I only have one buck tag left. Heck, prior to shooting the split G2 buck, I probably would have fallen down the stairs trying to get my bow to harvest this deer. But I'm glad I didn't when he showed up earlier this week, because he actually showed up last night with a much bigger deer that I'd really like to put on my wall. We'll show you that footage next episode, in episode number 4. I hope you enjoyed episode number 3. Thank you for watching, and have a blessed week.